This story begins on an ordinary American coastline, not on a battlefield, but in a dimly lit bar just outside a naval base. The kind of place where laughter echoes off wooden walls, where stories grow larger with every drink, and where reputations are built loudly. She entered without announcement, no entourage, no display, no insignia that demanded attention, just a woman in civilian clothes, calm posture, eyes trained forward, not scanning for threats, but always aware of them. Her name was Commander Elise Ward. To the room, she was invisible. To the United States Navy, she was something else entirely. Across the bar stood Staff Sergeant Ryan Cole, decorated, respected, and dangerously convinced of his own importance. Years of praise had hardened into entitlement. Rank had blurred into ego. And tonight, surrounded by laughter and alcohol, he believed the room belonged to him. Their paths crossed by accident, a shoulder brushed, a drink tipped. She apologized. That should have ended it. Instead, he laughed, loudly, cruelly, drawing attention, feeding on it. Words followed, dismissive, sharp, meant to remind her who he believed mattered. She didn't argue. She didn't explain. She simply met his eyes. And in that silence, something ancient stirred, because skill does not shout, and power does not beg to be seen. Before we go further, if you value stories about quiet strength, honor under pressure, and moments that redefine respect, subscribe now to Tales of Courage. You won't want to miss what comes next. The swing came fast, sloppy, fueled by pride more than precision. A sudden motion, a sharp breath, and then nothing went the way he expected. She stepped inside the arc of his arm. There was a clean, controlled movement, too fast for cheers, too precise for chaos. A short pivot, a lock applied with surgical calm. The sharp crack of glass as his weight met the bar. The room froze. Silence fell so hard it felt physical. He was down, not injured, not broken, just finished. She released him immediately, already stepping back, already disengaged. No rage in her eyes, only restraint. And that was the moment the bartender whispered, barely audible, "Sir, that's Commander Ward." The name landed harder than any punch. The color drained from his face. Not because he'd been struck, but because he'd been exposed. A Marine he respected leaned in, voice tight. "Sir, she commands the unit you hear about but never see." Across the room, phones stayed down. No cheering, no clapping. The kind of silence reserved for witnessing something sacred or shameful. Commander Ward didn't gloat. She didn't correct the whispers. She simply adjusted her jacket and prepared to leave. Before she reached the door, a senior naval officer, drawn by the disturbance, stepped forward. He had seen everything. "Commander?" he said evenly. She stopped. "Yes, sir." He looked at the Marine on the floor, then back at her. "Handled with discipline." She nodded once. Outside, the night air felt different, lighter. Inside, the lesson lingered. The Marine would recover. His pride would take longer. Because the real defeat wasn't physical. It was the realization that strength without control is weakness, that authority without humility is fragile, and that the most dangerous people in the room rarely announce themselves. If this moment resonates with you, if you believe respect still matters, share this story. Someone else needs to hear it. The incident never made official reports, but it spread quietly, precisely, through training halls, through briefing rooms, through bars like that one. A cautionary tale told in lowered voices. Don't mistake silence for submission. Don't test what you don't understand. Commander Ward returned to her unit the next morning. No ceremony, no mention of the night before. The mission always came first. Years later, recruits would ask about her, not knowing her face, only her reputation. They said she led America's most feared SEAL operations without raising her voice, that she believed discipline was louder than intimidation, that she taught one principle above all: control yourself, or someone else will. And when asked once quietly about the bar incident, she offered only this: power isn't proven by who you dominate, it's proven by who you refuse to become. That line became legend, not because it sounded strong, but because it was true. If this story moved you, comment below with what lesson stood out most, and share it with someone who believes real strength speaks softly. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories from Tales of Courage.